Hello everybody, my name is Drew and part of my demonstration speech today is going to be on how to design your own workout plan. That's going to piggyback off of the last speech that I did. So we'll kind of here get started. When we first design our program here, we're going to break it up into what I call sub phases of the training, and that is going to be your general warm up, which is going to be about 5 to 10 minutes of easy treadmill work, jumping rope, anything like that to kind of get your heart rate elevated. Then we'll progress into the specific warm-up. That's where we're going to do kind of more functional stuff like squatting and push-ups and kind of rotator cuff stuff, all that kind of good stuff to get us ready for the workout. Then we'll move here to our strength training portion, which is we're going to focus on kind of major core movements first, and then we'll progress to smaller isolation movements if that's what the program and the goal calls for. And then the last phase is what we call the metabolic conditioning portion, which is going to be kind of known as the cardio portion, where it's going to be focused more on intervals. So moving right along here is we go right into the general warm-up. Again, the goal of this is to increase your core body temperature and to prepare your body for physical activity. Again, it's just brief. It's 5 to 10 minutes worth of work, and you do want kind of a light sweat going. You do want to feel kind of warm, but you do not want to feel tired. Then we'll kind of transition here to the specific warm-up. We're going to spend some time foam rolling the major areas, which is your thoracic spine, your quad and hip flexor area, your piriformis, which is in your butt, and your lats. We'll get into some light functional patterns, like I said, like bodyweight squats, push-ups, that kind of stuff. And this here is pretty much preparing our body for the workout, primarily from a joint perspective. Here's some kind of images here. This gentleman here is foam rolling his lat, and this lady here is foam rolling her IT band, which is actually very important if you are heavily involved in running. So once we kind of get through that component, we'll actually get to the meat and potatoes here of the workout. Some kind of key components of that is volume, which is the total number of set and reps, intensity, which is measured by the total amount of load lifted, the duration obviously is how long the workout is, and then your rest, which is the rest interval in between the sets or circuits, depending on the style of workout you're performing. Obviously, you want to vary those four based off of the goal. Some common goals that people typically shoot for is fat loss, hypertrophy or mass gain, and or strength. Some kind of key components to a fat loss workout: you want the rest period to be shorter, more higher number of repetitions, think probably around 10 to 15. Think about really pushing the tempo with that. So you'll be doing kind of small mini circuits, performing that kind of activity. Hypertrophy training, again, we're trying to add mass. So the big key to that is applying metabolic stress. So we're going to kind of chase kind of the pump or the burn sensation in our muscles. You're going to use a moderate number of repetitions, somewhere between 6 to 12, applied with a moderate amount of rest and a moderate amount of load. Strength, which would be the last one here. Obviously, the repetitions are going to be lower, somewhere between 1 to 5. We're going to use heavier weight with that, and the rest periods are actually going to be extremely high, usually ranging between 2 to 5 minutes. And here we kind of show some basic kind of exercises. Here's what's known as a goblet squat, and then this here would be a TRX row. Again, in the resistance training portion, specifically if your goal is fat loss or strength, you're going to have to use major kind of compound movements such as those two that work multiple muscle groups at the same time. And then the last component here is metabolic conditioning. This is kind of the cardio portion of the workout. It's interval based. Typically we start out with a 1 to 3 work to rest ratio, progress it down to a 1 to 1. We're going to perform small little mini circuits typically that are timed, and that's going to help control the interval length. Kind of a common thing here is 30 seconds worth of work, 60 seconds worth of rest would be kind of a common approach to what I'm talking about with that. And within that conditioning, obviously you kind of see the ropes here, which is pretty popular, but you can get into doing body weight stuff, running on the treadmill, to the Concept 2 rowing machine, to kettlebells are another popular component of that nowadays. But the key to that is short, intense duration of work followed by just enough rest to kind of let your heart rate come down, recover, and then go back into it. The key to that is that's really going to accelerate your metabolism and help kind of shed that body fat. So again, based off your goal, if your goal is fat loss, you would want to put a little bit larger component of this at the end of it, whereas on the other end of the spectrum, if your goal was more strength focused, you would probably put very little of this into the end of your workout. So that's all I have. Thank you very much, and I hope you enjoyed it.